Chapter 2. Title of chapter 2 is Rights versus Privileges. This chapter is the most important chapter in the book. Rights versus privileges is the most important concept of this class. I think that all of the problems that we have in the United States are based on the fact that Americans no longer understand the difference between rights and privileges. It's pointless to talk about the Bill of Rights unless you know what a right is. This chapter and concept is so important that you can download this chapter from my website for free. My website is constitutionpreservation.org. And I want everybody in the United States to understand this concept. Let me begin by saying that almost all of the definitions in the book are derived from Black's Law Dictionary. Anytime you go into a court of law, you need to know what the judges and lawyers are talking about. And Black's Law Dictionary is one of many dictionaries which constitutes official definitions in law. And the definition of a right is defined as a power, privilege, faculty, or demand inherent in one person and incident upon another. The powers of free action. Let me ask you, what does inherent mean? Anybody have a definition for inherent?
Part of you.
It is a part of you. It is a defining quality of the object that we are talking about. If I have a lead brick, what can you tell me about my lead brick?
It's made of lead.
It is made of lead. What else can you tell me about it? That it's heavy. The one thing that everybody knows about lead is that it's heavy. If it's not heavy, it's not lead. Heavy is an inherent quality of lead. Can I take my lead brick, put it into a vacuum, and suck out all the heavy? Can I put my lead brick into a microwave and zap it for a couple minutes and have it come out light and fluffy? Heavy is an inherent part of lead. You cannot make lead not heavy. It's a defining quality. Rights are inherent in you, just like your thoughts and your dreams. You had dreams last night. You may be able to tell me about your dreams, but you can't put those dreams in a paper bag and hand them to me. You can't say, well, gosh, I had this really terrible nightmare last night. You're braver than I am. You don't sleep with earplugs for fear that somebody may come and steal your favorite dreams. Your thoughts and your dreams are inherent in you. They make you who you are. It's part of your personality. And if you die, your dreams and thoughts die with you. Your rights are also inherent in you. They are a part of who you are. No one can take your rights away. You cannot give your rights away. You can choose not to exercise a right. I have freedom of speech, but if I sit quietly, I don't give up my freedom of speech. I'm just not exercising my freedom of speech. If someone kills you, they take your life, but they cannot take your right to life. You always have that right to life, and that is the violation, that they've taken your life. Rights are inherent in you and cannot be taken away. They are with you from birth. Now, let me focus on this definition. Black's Law Dictionary declares this to be a power or a privilege. I contend that that definition is inaccurate because rights and privileges are opposites. Let's look at the definition of a privilege on page 8. A privilege is defined by Black's Law as a particular and peculiar benefit or advantage enjoyed by a person, company, or class beyond the common advantages of other citizens, an exceptional or extraordinary power or exemption. A privilege is something that someone gives you, and they can take that privilege away at any time. Let me demonstrate by example. If I walk out of the back door of my home onto my land, can I walk back and forth on my land anytime I want to? Do I have to ask anybody's permission to walk on my land? No. Therefore, walking on my land is a right. I own the land. I have a right to walk back and forth across my land. Now, let's assume that I want to walk to the store, and the store happens to be on the opposite side of Jeff's property. Can I walk back and forth across Jeff's property anytime I want to?
No.
No. Walking across Jeff's property is a privilege. Now, if Jeff and I are neighbors, I mean, it's a possibility that Jeff and I like each other, and when I want to walk to the store on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, Jeff can say, "Sure, Mike, no problem. What are friends for?" And I take the shortcut. But on Thursday, we may have lost our winning lottery ticket, we may have had something else negative happen in our lives, and we may just be in a bad mood. And so on Thursday, when I try to take the shortcut, Jeff says, "Hey, stop. Walk around. That's what fences are for." The important concept is that a privilege is granted to me and it can be taken away. Rights and privileges are opposites. Either you require permission or you don't. If you require permission, it is a privilege which can be revoked. If you do not require permission, then it is a right, something that you can do without asking. Now, there are 3 corollaries to this idea that I would also like you to know, and they are listed on page 8. First, all of your rights are derived from property. Second, every right implies a responsibility. And third, the only limitation on your rights are the equal rights of others. Let's focus on the first one. All of your rights are derived from property. When I walk back and forth on my land, it is a right because I own the property. Walking across your land is a privilege. I need to get permission to walk across your land. Well, if I'm very wealthy and I purchase your land and you sell me the farm, it now belongs to me. And now I no longer require your permission to walk across that land because now I own it. So walking across a certain area of land is dependent upon whether or not I own that land. Now, many people will argue that's all well and good for houses and cars.